Hi, everybody. We are Hanson.
This is Zach over here.
That's Isaac.
And I'm Taylor.
And together with our superpowers combined, we are the band Hanson, which will rock you.
I thought he was going to say Captain Planet.
Rock with you all night. Wow, okay.
Anyway, what's it like running our own label ourselves? Our own independent label. Running the label ourselves is just, it's a good thing. It puts us in a position to be able to focus on, I think, the long-term plan for a career and also do projects in different ways that are not as traditional. But it's also a lot of work. I mean, it makes it harder. I think not every band would want to be their own label.
It's also, I mean, we're really investing in the future of our band. I mean, we are taking some hard hits kind of now as far as the workload and learning and trying to figure out how to do things better, because we reached a turning point as a band where we saw the whole business falling apart, and we just weren't willing to watch our career follow the same course because the business couldn't get their act together. And so we made this very difficult decision to say, like, we know enough about this business after this many years that we can branch out, take the risk, build our own company. And where we are now is we're starting to even, I think, over the next couple of years, really reach the point where we're going to have something we can offer to other artists. We're going to have experience as a label and methods and sort of develop the relationships in a different way as a company that we're able to connect with our artists, reach more fans, and ultimately figure out, what is the music business going to look like in the future? Because we're going to keep making music, so we have a vested interest in what it's going to be like when we have ZZ Top beards. I mean,
we may never actually have ZZ Top beards because I'm not.
We're probably
sure.
going to have long Fu Manchus, because
we're not that hairy.
Yeah, exactly.
In general.
But we really, we're not stockholders that are looking for a point to sell out, on our stock of Universal records so that we can go, to the Hamptons. We're vested in being in a rock and roll band and touring the world and reaching fans and inspiring people with our music. So running the label is just a necessary evil for us today. And it's a lot of balancing, the work, the music, and everything. We have evolved, I think, over the last 10 years, with lyrically and musically as players and further influences. But really the core of the music we made has continued to be the same. I mean, we throw back to just classic R&B and rock and roll. So in a lot of ways, I think, when we play Bop today and when we play new stuff today, you hear how kind of
similar,
how connected it all is. In fact, I saw somebody reviewed the show the other day and from a few shows ago and was saying, oh yeah, I'm surprised how uncannily it sounds. You hear Bop, when we play it these days. You're like, it still has that same sound, but it's. I think it's just because the song, the way we sing together, the way we write, it was us then. It's just 10 years later, And these days, the sound I think is definitely just has more punch, a little bit more attitude, a little bit more honest, even more than the first record.
I think a few less metaphors, a few things that are a little bit more kind of blatant and kind of, like you said, aggressive, or you could use the word honest, but I think in general we've always stayed pretty honest to ourselves. It's just I think we tried to make things a little bit less,
a little bit more apparent.
Oh yeah, a little bit less metaphorical, a little more apparent. Yeah,
we just love doing what we do and look at the ability to be a band and make music and have a career doing this as an opportunity we've never wanted to screw up. And so with everything we do, we just do our best to, I think, keep that kind of focus of what will allow us to keep making music for a long time, and understanding that I think it's a privilege to have fans and to be able to travel around the country and the world playing music, and I guess to treat it with respect.
I think we've also had the incredible gift of being self-contained as a band for a very long time. From the very beginning, being, the soul composers of songs like Umbop and others. You know,
the writers.
being the writers and being the kind of creative force behind what we've done from a very early point in our lives, I think makes a huge difference in how you express yourself and grow as you move forward in your life. I think
It's always been our art.
It's always been our art, yeah. And I think in many cases, people often ask the question of, a lot of, young stars, young musicians, whatever, lose their way. Well, I think we were lucky, really, really lucky that that we were on our own, on our own trajectory from the very beginning. That it was our plan, it was our goals, and that every time there was a decision that needed to be made, we were making it from a point of view of, well, will we be happy with ourselves 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, 20 years down the line, and how do we make decisions that ultimately project our desire to move forward, not just only live today.